Hi everybody, welcome to SBC Little Ones, and today is extremely special. Before I go through the introduction that I have written down here, etc., let me tell you the truth. The fact is that I have two authors here with me. One is Komal Thakur and other one is Bhavna Tanwani, and both of them are special because I have known them not as authors but as someone else, and today they're sitting in front of me in the role of authors. So Komal Thakur, let me start with. All those judging shows that I would do, the reality shows, Komal used to be the creative person on it. Long hair, completely running around, and always had a kind smile. Unlike most of the others, we really got along. But I didn't know Komal had an author in her, and today I know that. Though Komal has changed track now, she's doing something completely different, and I will get to that. Before I get to that part of it, let me tell you about Bhavna. Bhavna is the one, the anchor, the one that holds Sonali's book club together. And this person who loves books and is so amazing with my book club, I would not be able to manage this book club without her. And today she's turned an author. So our baby has grown up. And we are so excited about the fact that Bhavna has become an author now. This is how I know them. But I must introduce them properly now with what they actually do now. Komal Thakur is a creative director, permaculture designer, and a self-proclaimed unbracketed soul. I want to know, what is unbracketed soul?
I don't think that we need to fit into something or the other. I can be a creative director, a permaculture designer, I can take care of my home, I can do a million other things, I can write, I can draw, I try.
So yes, Komal Thakur is somebody with a lot of talent. After leading some of India's most beloved television shows, she discovered that nature runs an even more extraordinary production. Naturally, she took it on. She has spent years working with farmers to grow biodiverse food forests through the Earth Forever Conservation Foundation. She believes nature is not something to be saved, but something to be felt. And every child is born knowing this. That's an amazing thought, because it's true. We keep thinking we are going to save the nature. Who the hell are we to save nature? Nature is saving us, actually. And you're right, as children we knew it, but we have forgotten about it. Bhavna. Bhavna Tanwani is a certified environmental educator and an experienced curriculum designer who uses storytelling to turn learning into an adventure. And that I can guarantee you, she's an amazing storyteller. She thinks she's not, but she is. Every time she wants me to do something, she treats me like that child, tells me a story, and gets me to do exactly what she wants me to do. So I can vouch for that. With a background in psychology and years of working closely with children, she creates immersive lessons that help kids absorb complex ideas while having fun. The best way to learn. Absolutely, I agree. I wish I had people like that during my schooling years. Never too late to learn. Maybe I should go back to school. But anyway, Bhavna and Komal are aunt and niece. Let me just tell you that. So they are related. They came into my orbit at different times in life. I did not know they were related. And imagine my surprise, one day I suddenly meet and I'm like, Komal, what are you doing here? And she's like, Bhavna is my niece. And I'm like, what? This is a really small world. But I also believe this is what it is in the world. Like-minded people always somewhere come back into your orbit or are in your orbit. So here we are, similar energies matching. So let's start with, what made you guys write a book?
So I spent about like 20 years in the television industry. Yeah. And I really just started feeling like, okay, I don't have the mind space to absorb anything else in my life. And I really want to take a bit of a break. I was like, I'll take 1 year, I'll travel, I'll volunteer, I'll just also see rural India. I've always been an urban kid. Right. So I was like, maybe this is a good time to, just go around and bring that back with me to tell stories. And then I just stumbled into permaculture and discovered that, oh my God, I just love it conceptually. I love the idea of...
Explain permaculture to us.
It's essentially how do you work with nature? Understanding how nature works, how we're connected to nature, and then how do we work with nature? For the most simple thing, how do you grow food? We don't need anything else to grow food. The soil has everything in it if we just allow the soil to thrive, and we try and mimic the forest. And if we can do what the forest does, we become just a part of that whole system.
What does forest do?
Nothing. It just, every single element in the forest does what it does. We don't have to work really for it, right? The trees
You
grow.
just let it be.
You just have to let it be. Let it do its thing. Do not disrupt it.
So it's possible to, even if we have lost it, it's possible to get it back.
Absolutely, absolutely. And permaculture is a lot about design, which is actually where I loved it, because
Yeah.
being a creative director and then discovering this whole world,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we can actually design the systems in such a way where you just create the triggers and then nature does the rest.
Oh, lovely.
Brings it together, and you're like, witnessing that really changed a lot for
Magic.
me. Yeah, that was really. And yeah, so that's where the shift happened for me. While I was doing this and while I was working with the farmers, and I attend a lot of conferences to also understand what's happening in the rest of the world. The minute anyone would hear, oh, you're a creative director, you should make some content. We have nothing to share with the kids. There is nothing that can actually, in a fun way, talk to kids about how nature works.
Right.
There is a lot of science, there's photosynthesis, there's this, there's that, that's all in the textbook. But what's that felt sense of how do the systems come together? How does it really work? There's nothing fun, and we all struggle when we're trying to teach the kids this. And then I kind of came back home, and first I was like, no, I need to take a break from like directing. And it didn't last very long. I was like, but this is a story we need to tell. And every time I'd go to the farm, I'd start imagining these little, I was like, oh, what if this character could actually talk? What if this would actually happen, right? So that's where the idea of the book came together. I was like, let's actually tell nature's story, but make it a mystery, thriller, adventure.
Make
Let
it fun.
Fun. Yeah, so we don't want to be preachy, and that's actually where I called Bhavna, and I was like, hey, do you want to join me on this? Because I've been writing this, but like I think that we put together with your background and sensibilities and my ideas of about how it is, we just come together, and I think we'll create something good. And
Yeah, and so you joined in. What was it?
Yeah, because learning, like for me, learning needs to be fun.
Absolutely.
Sure, we all know what photosynthesis is, but what does that have to do with me?
Yeah.
Right. So that connection, I think that this project, Agents of Nature, I think is very meaningful because it includes a lot of things in it, right? So we've got how are we interconnected with nature. It talks about how nature works. It talks about how to work with nature, right? So for me, that was very meaningful. I also really enjoy making learning fun. I enjoy trying to come up, like I used to teach before. And so for me, like teaching, like the best part of teaching was how can I make this
Fun for them.
Right. And also when kids get emotionally involved with whatever it is that they're doing, then retention is a lot better, right? And then when you feel for it, then you want to do something about it. And so that's why I was very like,
So I have
we
it
should do
here.
this.
The book that we've been talking about, the authors that we are talking to are the authors of this book called The Agents of Nature. It's a mystery. It's a lot of storytelling. It's got emotions, and it's got biology in a fun sort of a way. Would that be the correct way to describe it? How would you describe it?
Mystery, adventure, fantasy. I think it's a more, what we're trying to do at least with this is get a more emotional connect.
Okay.
If you relate to the characters, if you aspire to become an agent of nature, then that identity sort of like shapes
So how does
your
one become
habits.
an agent of nature?
We have 10 activities at the end of the book.
Whoa, okay. So anybody can become an agent of nature?
anybody can become an agent of nature. We all are. We're just kind
Yeah,
of
we've forgotten it a bit, yeah. Now, there's this concept in the book called the Wood Wide Web. What is Wood Wide Web? I mean, we are all drowning in the World Wide Web, but what is Wood Wide Web?
It is the fungal network that exists below the ground. It's the fungal network that's in the soil. So we call it the wood wide web because it connects the trees to each other, and it is
Good
the
one.
main transport delivery system.
I'll never forget this term, Wood Wide Web. I mean, it's fabulous.
Yeah.
I mean, I can just imagine kids just remembering this completely.
Yeah, it's been, people in the nature space, some have been using these words, and the minute I heard it, I was like, that's a story.
Yeah.
Who will forget?
So, what is the Wood Wide
right?
Web adventure about?
The Wood Wide Web adventure. So we have 3 protagonists. Mimi, she's a little girl.
Yeah.
Puno, a plant. And Micro, the mushroom. So we're crossing kingdoms over here. We
Right.
have 3
Representatives from everywhere.
Okay.
Yes. And it's pretty simple. They're actually recruited by the spirit of the forest
Okay.
not to save nature, but to rekindle the connection that human beings have lost with nature.
One second. You were saying that they have been recruited by the spirit of the forest.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
She gives them this mission, and they decide to take it on. And
So that's the adventure.
that's the adventure.
What happens in it?
So they go underground to solve the case of the missing minerals.
Nice. We all need them.
Yep, they get clues. There are
But we get our minerals through the plants, and that's where the
Correct.
plants are getting the minerals from the
Exactly.
soil.
Yes.
bringing it all back to that. Okay, how
Yeah.
would we have gotten it if we don't really
Yeah.
give
So
it
if
back?
the plants are not getting the minerals, we are not
we're
getting
not.
them, and
Correct.
then we are in trouble.
Yes.
And therefore, our health is interconnected with the health of the microbes and with the health of the plant. And that's how we're all interconnected.
So Mimi,
Right.
Puno, and
Micro.
Micro is the one who is very interesting because he has this sense of humor, which is very dry, which is very different, and sense of humor. And how did you bring that into Micro?
Like Micro is very straight faced. Like Micro is very like suspicious and just like, yeah, sure. Like, so it's very cute, interesting character.
We also wanted to really bring out the fact that, I mean, the whole underground system, right? It works as it works.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what else happens. They
Yeah.
just do what they do, as is everything in nature. But so Micro is the representative of that. He's logical. He is logical
Yes.
about everything. If this is this, then that is that. Like, I mean, there can be no other way. Like, why do you guys not get it?
Right. But what about Puno?
Oh,
Puno is very emotional, very enthusiastic, very excited about everything. Oh, look, we're interconnected. Oh, look, we're connected. We're a family. And Micro's like, yeah, whatever.
I get that. So I love the fact that they've got such distinct natures and
Personalities.
so obviously the way they're talking, everything is so different. But so plants also function the way they function. So what is it that made you feel that Puno could be the bubbly, emotional one
Have you
and
s-
not Micro?
have you seen when if you have even a vase with a flower in it, okay, and if the water has gone down and the flower is like really drooping, right? Or rather, if you have a pot with the flower in it and it hasn't been watered, water it within an hour. The flower is all up and sprightly and pretty, and that's so it is.
Oh my God, that's so
Instant
true.
moodiness.
Plants
Got it
move.
so well. Oh my God, that's amazing.
Plants move, right? They react to the environment. Everything affects a plant. They're
Yeah.
sensitive. They're like, there are the rowdy ones too, but
Yeah.
they have that immediate response.
Reaction to
what's
everything, and
happening around.
yeah. So then tell me about the human, Mimi, the little girl.
Yeah. Mimi is all of us.
Yeah.
Um,
And we can be really mean.
but okay, so we named her Mimi because it was me.
Ah,
But
so true. Yes, we humans are about me.
But also she is still a kid.
Yeah.
And so she's courageous, she's brave, she's fearful of
What's going to
letting
happen?
people down, she's fearful of not being able to take on this huge task, and all three characters in fact are really small, so
Yeah.
through the book they're like, but we're so tiny,
How
what
will
can
we do this?
Yes.
Yeah, then?
And so, but like the spirit of the forest says that the tiniest of creatures have this mighty nature within it.
Oh, I love this line.
Honor it and it will always lead you the way. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of it is about honoring our own nature. Because
Yeah, and absolutely, we all see the tiniest of actions have the mightiest of reactions. When you do them and you finish that, and you just have to keep doing it, and it's not the big things, it's the small things that are actually big
That are
in
big,
life.
right.
So beautifully
So
said, yeah. So
there
beautifully
is-
said. Yeah.
I think the more time we spend observing nature, you start really observing that that's exactly like me. I mean, a fig tree is a fig tree. It cannot smell like a jasmine plant would.
Correct.
That has its own thing, that has its own thing, and each of us have our own thing. We're each unique in our own ways,
And yet we are all the same.
and yet we're all the same.
So beautiful.
But we have to honor it.
Yeah, we have
and,
to.
I think that's the whole identity shift that we're really trying to bring through this book in a very playful way
Right.
for children to just recognize that each
And
one
honor
is different. Honor what's
Yes.
different in you, honor
I think
your
the parents
own
need to
nature.
read the book too.
And
Because first of all, they need to stop stereotyping the kids and making them all a factory product and let them have their individuality. So yeah, I think we must say that this is a must for the parents also.
For
So-
me, the tiny bit also is like, nature is so powerful, right? And awe and wonder are such powerful emotions.
Yeah.
And they can really change something within you.
Yeah.
Right? So for example, whenever you see whenever you go to the beach and you see like the vast ocean,
Yeah.
or whenever you see like the vast mountains or like the vast sky, right? And then
Yeah.
you feel really tiny.
Yeah.
And then in the grand scheme of things, like your life is
Yeah.
Nusa, and your problems are like even tinier.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So then it really helps with that whole puts things into perspective.
Absolutely, yeah. So when we started the conversation, and I mentioned at that time, I love the fact that what you're pointing out is that we don't need to save the nature. It's actually nature that's saving us, etc., etc. But the concept is about how we need to save the nature, how we need to teach the kids to save the nature. But what you're teaching them is that you're part of it. You have to save yourself. I don't know if I'm getting that absolutely right, but there is a shift here from just saving the nature to something being so much a part of it. How do you look at this shift? How do you think you can achieve this shift? And why do you think this shift is important? 3 questions between both of you. Please go.
Yeah, I think definitely one of the concepts we discussed a lot when we were writing the book and what perspective should it have. I think we both very strongly believe that nature does not need saving. Nature finds its way to thrive. Nature is always moving forward, has been for ever and ever. But the instant that we start drifting away from it, what we feel within us is this certain emptiness. And it is only through reconnecting with nature, it is only through identifying, remembering that we are actually very much a part of nature.
Right.
We are not separate from it. That's where you will choose what is best,
Yeah.
right? The decision making, how you want to live your life, what
Yeah.
you want to do from the smallest to the biggest actions.
Yeah.
If you are a part of it and your decisions will just flow with it. Whereas if you're looking at it from the outside, Bhavna, from the outside, that part.
Yeah.
Right. So essentially, when you are separate from nature, and if I need
Yeah.
to
Which most of us
save
are at
it,
this point of time, especially with tech and all of
Yeah.
that.
If I need to save nature, then it's very me being superior, me
Yeah,
being
me,
better,
me.
being smarter, more intelligent. But nature is very intelligent.
Of course.
Right. And so then essentially when I'm not then saving nature and when I'm taking care of nature, then it's more like an act of self-care.
Oh, beautifully put. So when we care for nature, it's
You're
like
caring for yourself,
yeah.
right? And it's true because gardening is so therapeutic. Spending time in nature is so therapeutic, right? It's very good for you mentally, emotionally, physically, right? So taking
Yeah.
care of nature is a
Imagine.
form of self-care.
Kids at young age gardening, great immunity, great, oh my God, yeah.
And honestly, we feel, and especially being such urban kid all my life,
Yeah.
I think
At the most we go is for a pet, that, oh, the emotional, the empathy, etc.
Right,
But this is so much more than just having the pet.
yeah, but also see, because we don't think of ourselves as nature, when we look around us in an urban city, we think, oh, there isn't nature, but isn't every single
Yeah.
person around us nature? And why are we losing that connection?
Yeah.
Right? It is just that the nature is actually all around us. We're all here.
So why do you think this shift is so important?
We do feel that when the right connection is made, when you're constantly coming from a place of I am a part of all of this, it's the decision making. How
That
I
will
decide
change.
to live my life comes naturally then in terms of how it works with nature.
Do you think this shift is possible?
Absolutely.
In today's day and age, when look at, I mean, I don't think we've ever been more disconnected.
From nature.
Yes. Do you think it's even a possibility?
Technology.
I mean, I
is-
hope it is, because that's the only thing that will save us. But the way we are heading at this point of time, we are literally hurtling down a road which is as far away from nature as possible. Literally, like, and we,
It
when I say, I
feels-
mean humanity.
It does feel like that, but honestly, and maybe I'm an optimist, but I genuinely believe technology is a tool. See, we have evolved, we are part of nature, and we have our own path of evolution, right? We should not have a preconceived notion of what humans or other animals or plants or any part of nature, because everything is evolving. Nature as a whole is evolving, and we are definitely right there evolving with it, I would
Yeah.
say. It's just that because we think that, oh no, the technology is this and there is a this and a that. If you just take that away, that technology is a tool. I can use it to actually maybe work better with nature.
Right, to connect more with the different communities,
Yeah.
spread the message more. Oh, yeah,
Absolutely.
of
There
course.
is so in my mind, I do not think that we are doomed, which is why no saving of
Yeah.
nature. We're all living through this amazing experience on this earth, and
Yeah.
let's just live it. As long as we're centered and it's coming from within the fact that yes, I am a part of everything. I am connected, interconnected. So anything I do is going to have an effect everywhere.
Beautifully put, beautifully put.
Bring it back.
So what is it? What do you expect from agents of nature? What is it that you want from it?
We want many agents of nature.
Okay.
We do hope that the book actually does inspire, not even inspire would also be the wrong word, just
Do you
Remind kids.
visualize, like I can visualize a series of
Yes.
agents of nature. Do you visualize a series of this book?
This
You
is
have-
the first. This is the first in a series of 5.
First in a series of 5. So that means Mimi, Micro, and Puno are going to go on many more adventures.
Absolutely. It was written initially as an animation film because animation has always been my
Yeah.
first love. And then I was like, the books are even more before animation first love. So,
So-
let's make the book.
First of 5. But after that, books can always be turned into the animation, and that's
Yes.
not a. So yeah, I think
Absolutely.
this will be. I really wish you this growth, because the more like we grow, I've learned to accept the fact that tech can be used for good, and we will not be stuck. There will be people who will love the book, who will read it as a hard copy, as a soft copy, on a Kindle or something, as an audio book. Maybe some parents might use it as that, and maybe this could be a story that could be visual also, and we will see it in an animation form also. The point being, it's a story that is worth being told, and I just hope that we have more and more parents, teachers, and through them the kids connecting with the agents of nature. And
I'm hoping that somewhere, like when we grew up and we had these adventure stories that we always looked forward to,
I hope this catches on and it becomes, oh, the next Agents of Nature book is out, let's go get it. I really hope that and wish that for you. So, when do we expect the second one of the series?
Coming soon, coming soon.
Ah, they're not giving us the date. Okay, I hope I see it really soon and I'm really looking forward to the 5 of these. But tell me, do you visualize anything more for the Agents of Nature? We spoke about the books, the Kindle, the audio, the animation. Is there anything more you can think of for Agents of Nature?
Yes, we'd love to like create a club.
Yes. I was expecting no, I just hope all the kids will get it. And Bhavna says, yes, okay, what do you expect more?
A club with like Agents of Nature.
Oh, that's a good one.
And we're going to release like missions for them to do so that they can do those missions. And
So what do you mean by clubs? I mean in schools, in like clubs, as in those gymkhanas and various clubs. Do you think this could be like an activity for the kids?
We actually do think that we can. So, like even on our Instagram page, we've already started giving.
You have an Instagram
weekly-
page.
weekly
Please, we
missions.
want to know this Instagram page. Can you please tell us?
agentsofnature.club on Instagram.
agentsofnature.club. Follow it soon. But yeah, so you think there'll be competition between the clubs and all that also?
Actually, there's a lot of plans of what to do, but I do think that once the kids start coming together to do missions, and the missions don't become just standalone, so then we can actually start having local chapters, and then that grows out.
Yeah.
And that kind of connectedness, it's a totally different space that these kids will then be growing up with, because they have people that they can as excitedly discuss these concepts with and discuss how they'd like the world to be, what world they want to build.
So, you know, I have to say, what I understand from Agents of Nature is this, at SBC Little Ones, this is this beautiful little children's book disguised as a children's book. Actually, it's a movement. And these authors are very sneaking in a movement here, because from what I hear so far, it's not just one book, 5 books, stories, animation, visuals. No, it's a movement, and I think it's a movement that we all need. Definitely, in the way we are heading, no better way than storytelling to teach the good things. So, Komal and Bhavna, all the best for Agents of Nature.
Thank you. It
Beautiful
means so
book,
much to
and
us.
really all the best for this.
Thank you. It really means a lot doing this with you.
Agents of Nature.